Let's get ourselves going. Okay, guys, just by way of intro, my name's Russell. Let me just give you my details just as a start, so you've got that. Get it out of the way. Okay. If you want to email me anytime, okay, I'll give you my email address. Okay. Sorry, there is a J there as well. Sorry. Okay. My cell phone. I'm sure most of you have got it by now. It's not a state secret. No one wants to phone me anyway, so you can have the number. Okay. As I always tell my students, I sleep between 1 and 4. Okay, and that's morning, not often. Whoever can sleep in 1 to 4 in the afternoon is a very lucky person. I'm talking about at night. Okay, so if you could just not phone me in those sleeping hours, I'd be very grateful. But my phone is always on, guys, so if you do need me, with pleasure. If I don't answer the phone, I'm probably in a class or in a meeting or something like that. The best way to get hold of me, guys, is WhatsApp, and I always return calls same day, so that you don't have to worry about that. I'll get hold of you. Okay, those are my details, my qualifications. Why am I here? I started off, became a chartered accountant. Okay, then I did CFA, then FRM, and then just about finished Kaya. That's my last, hopefully my last designation. Okay, time to get down to a little bit of living, which I hope you guys are going to do once you've finished CFA, of course. We'll talk about the living and the CFA, how they work together. Okay, that's part of tonight's class. That's my background. Okay, guys, what I'm going to do tonight is good news and bad news. Okay, the good news is that it's not going to be a very long class. Now, we usually use the first class, and particularly because we do have a bit of time on our hands, starting early, is to give you a full orientation. How many guys are writing this the first time? Okay, so most people are new people. Okay, so we'll do a full orientation, what you can expect, what you can't expect, what the early start program gives you, what it doesn't give you, and bad news. So we say there's good and bad. I don't think there's any bad news. Okay, unless you want to stay later, I'm here as well. I can stay and chat if you like. So, but generally, the first class is a bit of a shorter one, just to give you a bit of an intro, show you what we're going to do, and we move on from there. Okay. Does anybody not? Is everybody here doing CFA? By the way. Okay. I was once giving an equities class. The reason I ask is because often when people walk into the class, I just check if they're in the right spot. I was once giving an equities class for UNISA, and one girl walks in and she sits down and she just sits and sits and sits. And after about an hour and a half, she picks up her head. She says, "Excuse me." She said, "What class is this?" So I said, "No. What class did you think you were? What class are you coming to?" She said, "No, she's looking for tax." I said, "I haven't mentioned tax in 2 hours." So she says to me, "No, but it was so interesting, equities, eh?" So that's why I always ask people why they're here. Okay, not why are you here, but are you in the right spot? Why are you here? You put, I preempt this with all my classes, guys. Why are you here is you've done this to yourself. Okay. You have already, I didn't register a single one of you for CFA. You did this to yourself. You're in this yourself. There I lie. You're in this with me. I'm in this with you, lock, stock, and barrel. I'm here to help you the whole way through. But always remember, guys, you did this to yourself. Okay. I just sat with a student now, and he wanted to know, should he do CFA, FRM, or Kaya? So I took him through the times, how long it'll take you to get each one. He said, "Okay, not CFA. No. You'll try one of the other two." Okay. Guys, CFA is a long haul. Okay. I had one student that came through the other day, said they've got 6 months free. They'd like to try CFA level 1. I said, no. This is not something that you try. This CFA, guys, to be successful in CFA, it's got to be something that you want. It's got to be something that you really want, because it's, as I said to the student that just came through a little bit earlier just to consult, I said, this is probably your most difficult designation of the 3 that we offer. Now, I've done them all, so I know what's in them. And this is probably your most difficult one, CFA. Okay. It's long, it's difficult, but it's worth it. That's all I can tell you. Only a little bit of encouragement at the end is that it's definitely worth it. Okay. I had one girl, I can still see her face sitting in the other class, and she said to me when she was in level 1, she said, "I hope that the CFA dream doesn't let me down like the chartered accountant dream did." How many chartered accountants are there, by the way? Any? Okay, you'll love the frost section, maybe. Okay. And I said to her, what do you mean? She said, no, she finished her CA, and then there wasn't a pot of gold waiting for her. I said, what do you mean? She said, no, she expected that she got a chartered accountant's degree, whatever they call it, and she expected to be instantly wealthy. So I said, well, then I said, unfortunately, the CFA dream is going to let you down too. Okay. And guys, very important to get your expectations right. It's the most brilliant, perfect designation for investments that you're ever going to get. There's nothing to touch it. That I can tell you without. I've seen it all, guys. But it's hard work, and when you're finished, it's a stepping stone. Okay, just like any other degree is a stepping stone to get you into the door where you need to be in. I'll grab a file. To get you in where you need to get into, to help you with that. But then, guys, once you're in, it's hard work, like everything. It's tough. It's connections. It's contacts. It's working. It's lunches. All that good stuff. And you'll get there. But I do hope no one came here expecting. I've told my other fellow lecturer who works for us to please stop telling the guys. You'll have him for corporate finance, the most lovely guy ever, Paul. And he says, don't worry, guys, if you lose all your friends during the process of doing CFA. He says, it doesn't matter. He says, because you can just buy new ones at the end. Okay, and I said, please stop telling them that, because everyone believes that at the end there's this big pot of gold, and the big pot of gold will come. It will come, but it takes time. We build towards that, guys. Okay, but it's like anything in life. It's hard work. And when I got my first job, not my first job, but a second, third job it was, I don't know if you guys have heard of a company called Kagiso. Okay. You're probably wondering what a nice white boy is doing at a black empowerment firm. Okay. Yeah. I was the only white guy there. And but I was there for about 10 years, and one of the most rewarding work experiences with the most incredible people. Okay. And I was sitting having lunch with a CFO at the time. I don't know if you guys know a guy, Johnson Jackie. Okay. He subsequently left. And he said to me, do you know why you got the job? I thought I was good, you know. And he said to me at the time, he said, no. He said, you were good, we liked you, you know, whatever. And I'll talk you through a little bit about how job hunting and prospects are today as they were, as opposed to 20 years ago, how things have changed a little bit and where we need to position ourselves. And he said, you were the only guy at that point in time. He said, you think you were the only guy that was applying? And then I got him back. I said, I didn't apply, you phoned me. Okay, because they were looking specifically for a CFA, which was a rare thing at that time. And guys, fortunately, whatever it happens to be, it's not as rare as it was 20 years ago. And guys, to get where we need to be, we need as many designations, stepping stones, as we can get to further ourselves. Okay, so that's obviously, I commend you all for being here, because it's hard work, but it's worthwhile. Okay, it's definitely. Okay, and guys, we're going to start off. I'm going to give you a full-on introduction today. We'll probably be about an hour and a quarter, hour and a half maybe. Okay. So why did they employ me? Because I was a CFA. That was it. That was it. What's your name, sorry? Natasha. Guys, I'll learn your names as we go. And please don't be offended if I get your name wrong every now and then. But if I do get it wrong, please just correct me. I called one guy in the level 3 class the wrong name for 3 years. And one time he says, you know my name is what? Okay. We're very blessed to have nice sized classes, you know, and just really great classes. I just chatted with my wife the other night. I said, I just don't know why we've been so blessed. Good classes. I don't know if it's a higher caliber of people that do CFA maybe. Then it could be. But just good, nice. But if I do call your name the wrong name, please that's not my name. Okay. And is anyone with the same name? Well, we'll go through the names in a second, but my FRM class, we had 2 Tebochos, a male and a female. So try that one. Okay, but guys, whatever your name is, you know, I'll get it right. It might take me a little bit of time. Okay, so guys, Natasha, why they hired me was because I was a CFA. That was it. And that's a little bit, guys, just to take you back, that's where things have changed just a little bit. Okay. You know, there's been a massive shift in the market. I'm sure you guys are aware, anyone that's applied for a job. You know, I went for this interview. Okay, I sat down with JJ Johnson Jackie and the MD at the time. I don't know if you guys know Eric Malobi. Unfortunately, he's passed on since then. And we sat down, had a cup of coffee, and he said, "We like you." I said, "Well, I like you too." And then I was hired. You know, that was the process. I had the right designations. So it's much more difficult, isn't it? You know, there's psychometric testing. You go through HR. You go through processes. You go through. It's difficult. So what I'm trying to say is the CFA is going to get you through the door, and then your brilliant personalities, minds, etc., are going to take you further. Okay. Another thing also, which I'm going to try and introduce, we'll see how we fit it into this program, because a lot of guys that go for jobs, okay, and what's the first question that they ask you? Because remember, if you're a CFA, okay, part of what you're looking for is what? An analyst position, portfolio management, managing investments, things like that. And the first thing they say to you, what share are you covering or you modeling at the moment? And guys go pale. What share am I modeling? I don't know how to model. Okay, they said, but you're coming for an equities position, an analyst. So that's one of the big things we've identified here in our little business, is that we're going to offer that going forward. I don't know how we're going to put it into this, but it's two components. It's a great knowledge of Excel, as well as modeling specifically for CFA investment related stuff. So when you go for your interview, they say, what are you covering? You can tell them I'm covering these shares, and here's my model. And I think CAPM is a good model or a bad model. I think you should rather be using a factor-based investing. And then you'll get the job. They'll look at you as if you're... Okay. Okay, guys, let us start off and talk about what's ahead of us. Okay. Guys, this is the first time we're running it, so you are the guinea pigs. But in a good way. In a good way, of course. It can't be bad. That's all I can... Because normally we start the program in July time, so you've got July, August, September, and October. November we revise. You guys have got an extra 2-3 months. We're doing the two, what I believe to be two of the toughest topics that the guys generally battle with. Slower, much more focused. So it can't be bad. How much better it is, well, we'll see. But I think it's a good thing. You know, the CFA, I'm sure you've heard by now of what they call the 300 hours. You've got to work 300 hours to get through this level 1 paper. 300 hours for level 2, 300 hours for level 3. That's 900 hours of your... I know you can work that out, how many days that is. Okay, it's a lot. Guys, there's bad news. It's not 300 hours. Not by a long shot. Okay. It's well in excess of 300 hours. And I'm talking 400, 450 hours, guys, to get through this paper. This paper is tough. This paper is difficult, but doable. Very doable. But the key component of CFA, guys, from level 1 to level 2 to level 3, okay, is going to be the number of hours that you put in. Okay, and you're going to see, because we're going to start off with quants. Okay, and quants is going to tell you that there is a direct relationship between hours worked and marks obtained. It's just there's no. I once had a genius, to be honest with you. It's coming through the class, and the genius got as far as level 3 before it hit him, and he did level 3 twice. But when I talk about a clever guy, I'm talking about a real clever guy. Okay, guys, the good news is that the secret of your success, more than anything, is a cast iron behind. You've just got to sit and sit and sit and work. And when you finish working, you work some more. Okay, that is going to be, and that's why I'm so encouraged to start early with you guys, because it's going to give you that little bit of an edge that you've got. You've covered two big topics by the time that we hit exam time. Sorry, by the time we start the normal program, when the rest of the guys jump on board, probably around about July. Okay, guys. So this is a lot of work. I've tried to register a domain name which they reserved for me, because I'm so tired of hearing that website called 300hours.com, because everyone thinks that's what it is, and it's not that anymore. So I'm trying to register 400hours.com. Okay, I'm not the most popular guy for doing such a thing, because people don't want to hear that you need to work harder. You've got to work harder. Okay, we're going to discuss how to work harder. We're going to give you all the approaches, etc., etc. Okay, guys, having a quick look at your paper. Okay, we're going to write 3 hours in the morning. You write 9 to 12 on a Saturday morning. Okay, and then you write an afternoon. And just remember, everybody thinks that you get a break until you write the second paper at 2 p.m. You don't, because it takes them a short while to collect the morning paper, takes her a short while to get you out of the room, and you've got to be back, I think, 25 minutes, half an hour early just to be seated. So you don't have, just the biggest thing about CFA is to manage expectations, that when you come to the paper, you're ready for this paper. Okay, that's going to be one of our keys, just to get you mentally prepared as well. I had one student, level 2, CA, MBA, and something else. I don't know what. Okay, and phoned me after the paper, 2 months after the paper, to tell me that he failed level 2. I said, nah, what happened? So he had a bit of a nervous attack that Friday afternoon, because remember they write on a Saturday, and he studied till 3 a.m. Okay, everyone say, how do you do? Okay, you won't do that. Okay, we hope. Studied till 3 a.m. and got up to write 6 a.m. the next morning. Got through the first paper, 9 to 12, and he started the 2 p.m. paper, the afternoon paper, and he shot a me grade at 2:05. And that was that. Okay. As much of this paper, guys, as the intellectual working, studying side is the looking after yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, psychologically. We'll discuss it all, guys. You've got to, and particularly for you guys are starting early, you've got to look after yourselves. This is you're in for a long haul here, and you've got to really look after yourselves. Okay. Now, that's the morning paper, and there's the afternoon paper. You write for 6 hours. It's a long time. How we get you ready for that, obviously, guys, right at the back end. Okay, we're going to do 6 practice papers with you. Okay, and it's funny. Everyone says, "Oh, how did you get the name EdgeFit?" And I get so many phone calls. Can you help us lose weight? Is this in this kind of a weight loss program? So I said, maybe they're just looking at me. I'm putting on weight. I don't know. Okay, I'm not fit. But FIT stands for Finance and Investment Trading. I regret using that name, okay, because I get so many calls for courses and fitness courses, and can we teach them how to run? They've got a bit of a painful knee. And I just listen on the phone and I say, Shane, I'm sorry for your knee, but this is not, it's EdgeFit, it's Finance and Investment Trading. But the truth is that FIT, guys, actually it's a nice play, which we didn't think of at the time, but we've got to get you what's called exam fit. Okay, and just like running, guys, how many any marathon runners here? Anybody? No, not one. Okay, it's all good. Okay, I got one in level 2. He ran the Comrades, and then he wrote. He ran Comrades in about 7.5 hours, and then he came to write CFA like 2 weeks later. Okay, some tough guys out there, and that's our approach as well. We start slowly. Okay, remember the final build-up, guys. The final build-up is that you've got to answer 120 multiple choice questions in the morning and 120 in the afternoon. And just like you can't run a marathon on your first attempt, on the first day that you start, so too here, we build up. Okay, and I haven't been so honest. I don't know how in detail you've read all of our offerings, but I haven't been completely honest. But if I was, because you wouldn't have come otherwise. But what we do is most weeks when you come, there's a little quiz when you start, just to make sure you've understood last week's work, just to make sure that you're on track. Then we have other tests. So the quizzes are normally 5 marks, 10 marks. Then we move from those, we move to 30-mark questions, the tests, 60-mark tests. We build up. Okay, and that's part of the approach, that you don't get to the exam. I had one girl phone me. It haunts me, this phone call. And she phoned me late Friday afternoon. And she said she just wants to talk to me about the exam tomorrow. I said, who are you? Because I know all my students. Guys, I'm sorry for you if it's a bit creepy, but I'll get to know all of you. I know your strengths, your weaknesses. I don't need to know anything more than that, guys, of course. But, okay, we know our students, and we love our students. I said, I don't recognize your name. She said, no, I'm not one of your students. I said, okay, well, how can I help you? I said, you do know the exam's tomorrow. She said, yeah. She said, she just wants some advice. I said, oh, my word, this is late for advice, but it doesn't matter. And she said, she's gone through the CFA textbook 4 times now. She knows it so well. So I said, then you should be fine. No problem. I wish you well. Get a good night's rest tonight. Have whatever you need to do. She said, only thing where she's a bit worried, she hasn't done any questions yet. I said, what? I said, no. I said, you don't practice papers or what? Nothing. I said, what have you been doing? She said, just memorizing the stuff. So I said, you know what? I said, no question. I said, I wish you the best for tomorrow. Please, just go out there and just give it the best shot you can. And she said, "You're not saying anything." I said, "I know." I said, "I just wish you well." And my wife's listening next door to me in the next door room. She's saying, "Who was that?" I said, "No." She said, "You were being very evasive." I said, "I had to, you know, at this point in time, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you the amount of work we've got to do, how long, hours, difficulty, etc. The night before the exam, I'm going to lie. Okay, if you phone me before and you say, "Am I doing?" I'm saying, "You're fine." Because there's no point. Is there a point to deflate you the night before? There's no point. Okay. So I said to this girl, "Just go out there, do your best shot." And then she phoned me after the results came. I said, "I failed, and I didn't just fail. Can I send you my results?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Look at these marks." I said, "I know." She said, "How do you know?" I said, it's I've been in this game for too long. Okay, much too long. Okay, not too long, but for long. I know the. Okay, so that's what we do. We practice. We work hard. We practice. We do practice papers, guys. And it's a slog. It's what it is. Okay, good. In terms of, let's just go. I'm just going to take you through this front pager that we've got. You've got three options for multiple choice. Of your 120 questions, what makes CFA so difficult, guys? What makes CFA difficult is that what? You've got to answer. You've got 180 minutes, which is your 3 hours, guys. And you've got to answer 120 multiple choice questions, which means, you can work it out, 90 seconds a question. Okay. Is that quick? Yeah. Is it doable? Yeah. Very doable. But again, if you're not practiced in doing questions quickly, and how to do the questions, which ones to leave out, which ones to perhaps skip, which ones to come back to, you're going to be in trouble. And as this poor friend of mine, by the way, she came to us for level 1 the next year and she passed first time. She was a very clever girl, just with shocking exam technique, that's all. Nothing wrong with her at all. Okay. And there's your 90 seconds, guys. And you've got to do it in that time. And remember, if you decide to do one question and take 5 minutes on that question, what have you done to yourself? You've sacrificed 3 marks, haven't you? Okay. And the truth is, guys, if you're not going to get that answer within 90 seconds to 120 seconds, you're not going to get anyway. Okay. It is what it is, isn't it? Okay. Now, that's the first thing that makes CFA a little bit difficult. What else makes it difficult, guys? What's your pass mark? What have you guys heard out there? 70%. What's your name? Kelly. MKL. Okay. 70%. What do you guys think? No pass mark. Bell curve. That's how we're starting with quants. Good one. What else? No, there's only one service provider, guys, by the way, in the market that offers their pass mark, and that's Kaya. And Kaya says that if you get 70, there's still a bell curve, by the way, but if you get 70, it's a guaranteed pass. Which kind of like, then there's a very strong link, guys, between Kaya and CFA. They're almost brothers and sisters, okay, to the extent now that once you finish CFA level 3, you can jump straight into Kaya level 2. There's only 2 levels for Kaya. Kaya's alternative investments, and you can jump straight into level 2. They've got a very lovely link between the two. It's nice to see that among the providers. And they say 70%, a guaranteed pass. CFA, I could tell you, it's almost the same, but you're probably going to pass between 65 and upwards. That's of course, it's a bell curve, isn't it? Okay, but probably 65 and above is going to get you through. Okay, and who's worried about the Chinese? Who's heard of the Chinese? I mean, you've heard of the Chinese before, of course. Why are you worried about the Chinese? Okay, so you get some guys, okay, that try and write when the Chinese are not going to write. Okay, guys, I don't mean to be ugly, but there's 1.3 billion Chinese people. You can't avoid them. Okay, they write in June, they write in December. And are they clever? They're clever. But remember, guys, they've got to write in English, so it's a bit of that's the first step that knocks them a little bit. And remember, guys, we're going to go through this now. There's 10 topics. The accountants in the front row are good at accounting. Some guys may come with an economics background. They love the eco section. Other guys may love whatever. You see what I'm saying, guys? They're not good at everything. And how do we beat the Chinese? Only 2 ways. And don't forget about the Chinese. The Indians are also blooming smart. Why pick on the Chinese? The Indians are smart. The Americans are good. Okay. How do we beat them all? We work harder than them, and we work smarter than them. Okay. And all you got to do is just get ahead of them of the curve. That's all. Am I right? Okay. So just by the way, that famous joke. If you caught in a at the game reserve and a lion's chasing you, you and your mate, what do you have to do? Just run faster than your mate. Am I right? That's all. Okay. That's the only trick. Same thing over here, guys. You've just got to beat the guy sitting next to you. That's all. And how do we do that? We work harder than them, more hours, guys, and smarter than them. Okay. We had one guy, you'll see when we start quants, guys. Okay. It's called Bayes' theorem. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Bayes' theorem. Okay. And yeah, it's probably, other than Bernoulli distributions, perhaps one of the most complicated parts of quants. Okay. And he phoned me, okay, after about a while after having done Bayes, and he said to me, "You are going to be so proud of me." I said, "Why?" He said, "I've mastered Bayes." I said, "I am proud. I really am proud." He said, I said, "How long did it take you?" "For 2 weeks." I said, "I'm not proud anymore." I said, "You're an idiot." Okay, and that's the working smarter, guys. Bayes, listen, guys, there's 120 multiple choice questions in the morning and afternoon, giving you a total of 240 multiple choice questions. Bayes, maybe one, maybe two at the most, probably likely to be one question. Now, you've given up 2 weeks of your time to get one out of 240. You can work out what that is. That's a horrible waste of time. And that's why we've got to work so cleverly, guys, to make sure that the time distribution that we put into it has got a positive payoff. And if you don't get Bayes, you know what I tell you? I don't care. Okay, so you go into the paper, and even better than I don't care, it's even beneficial to you, because you know what? When you get to the Bayes question, what do you say? Who knows? Not me. I can't even spell Bayes, so what? I'll put an A. Move on. And you've just gained yourself another 90 seconds for another question, haven't you? Okay, we're going to work cleverly like that, guys, because there's no sense in... But all I do demand of you is when the exams are finished in December, okay, then you take those 2 weeks and get Bayes right. Okay, I'm not exempting you by any means. Okay, but there's a time to learn Bayes, and there's a time not to learn Bayes. The time not to learn Bayes is if it's hurting you and upsetting you. Taking you too long, leave it alone. You'll get back to it, but you will get back to it. That's my only ask of you, is that we don't leave knowledge on the table. You may need to leave it now, but you'll pick it up at a later point. Okay, knowledge is it's too important. And the funny thing is, it's going to come back and bite you some other time. One of my CFAs didn't learn Bayes, and he passed CFA, which of course you can pass CFA without learning Bayes. That's not rocket science. And then he started doing FRM with us, and you know who was back? Bayes was back. Okay. It'll come, or you'll be sitting in a monthly management meeting, and I'll talk about Bayes, and you think, oh, I wish I knew what they were talking about. Okay, we don't leave too much knowledge on the table. But it may not be appropriate now to study it, but it will be appropriate at a later point in time where you need to. Okay, guys, CFA level 1 is what they call investment trivial pursuit. Okay, they're throwing tons of questions at you. 240 questions, and they're just throwing them at you. Okay, you've got to go through them quickly. Are they linked to each other? No link at all. Okay, they do question you in the order. Okay, so you know you're in the ethics section. That's fine. But question 1 is not linked at all to question 2 or 3 or 4. That's completely 240 questions that they're just hitting at you at high speed, and you've got to get through those questions quite quickly. The beauty about that, as opposed to level 2 and level 3, is that if you don't know it, what have you lost? 1, 2, 40th. Am I right? Okay, and then you move on. Okay, a little bit of exam technique, which is not really relevant for now because we will discuss it again closer to December, is another mate of mine phoned me from Cape Town, and he said, same thing, they phoned the night before. No, so this wasn't, it was 2 weeks before. He's got 2 weeks to go, and he hates economics. So I said, most people hate economics. Does anyone here love economics? There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Okay, good. Okay, you'll love that section, but most guys don't love it. I don't know which ones I hate more, economics or FRA, but hopefully you'll love FRA by the time we finish, or at least appreciate FRA. Okay, and 2 weeks before he said to me, he hasn't done any economics, which he can spend the next 2 weeks doing economics, or he can spend the next 2 weeks polishing and shining the other 9 big sessions. What should he do? So I said to him, you polish the other 9 sessions in economics, which is 10%, you just guess. He said, no. I said, yeah. I said, what's your rhyme your name again? I knew his name, of course. He said, Arno. I said, brilliant. So for economics, when you get there, you put A for Arno. And I could hear the phone was like, there was nothing on the other side. He said, no, seriously. I said, that's what you do. I said, if you start to learn economics now, it's just going to be a fuzz by the time you get to exam. Okay. If you put all A's, what do you get, guys? 33.3%, am I right? If you study it brilliantly, you think it's brilliant, you may get 50, but you sacrifice your other sections. He says, am I being serious? I said, oh no, I'm being serious. And he phoned me after the paper when he got results and he passed. He says, he can't believe it. I said, it has to work, doesn't it? Because remember, guys, there's only A, B, and C. And we're going to do in reading 9, guys, we're going to do probabilities. Okay? But when you guess, and please guess intelligent. Don't guess A, B, A again, C. Pick one letter. If your name starts with A, B, or C, you're in luck. If not, if your boyfriend, girlfriend's name starts with those, pick that. Your dog, I don't care what, guys. But you've got to pick intelligently because that's how they set their paper and that's how they mark them. That if you're going to guess one thing completely, you'll get about 33 to 35%. That's how the system is gamed a little bit. So you can work the system. Okay, I'm not telling you, of course, at this point. Remember, he phoned me 2 weeks before the paper. I had to give him some practical advice to get through. For us, sitting in May, we got time. Okay. So, guys, level 1 is just the facts. They're going to throw tons and tons of questions at you, and you've got to get through those questions at high speed. Okay, and that's what we had to teach you. Level 2 are more processes, stories. Okay, they give you a whole long story in CFA level 2. About a page and a half, ranging to 2.5 pages, and at the end of that, there's 6 multiple choice questions. So you can see the multiple choice questions level 2 are related to the story. In America, they call them a vignette, a story or a case study. The Americans call them vignettes. I couldn't even spell it if I had to try. Okay, so don't ask me to spell. That's another thing, guys. Just my spelling is not great. Okay, neither is my artwork. The students love my artwork, but it's not great. So, okay. Good. Now, that's level 3, guys, is, my sense, probably one of your most easy ones. And keep in mind, it's got the highest pass rate. 56% of guys are getting through. Level 3. It's also our highest pass rate, guys. We got about 74% of our guys through last year. So generally, once you get there, you can breathe easy, but guys are getting through then a little bit easier. Okay. Guys, let's have a quick peek at the topics. Ethics. Okay, easy stuff. Okay, when we talk about ethics being easy, it's easy in terms of there's a quantified amount that you've got to learn. Can you do this? Can you do that? And we learn those. It's very rule based. The difficulty with ethics, where the guys battle, is that they're always going to make the case study a little bit vague. Okay, a guy goes to have his normal client lunch, and he normally has 2 glasses of red wine, whatever he happens to drink, each one to their own. Today he has 5 glasses of red wine. Okay, he manages to get back to the office in one piece, because the restaurant where he dined is just down from where he works. Managed to get back to the office on time, okay, in one piece, gets into his office. He's got a corner office, locks the door, and he passes out on his couch. And the question is, has he violated anything? And obviously, step number 1 will be, we're going to go through all the rules, aren't we? All the ethical rules, and you've got to say to yourself, has he violated any of those rules? Well, okay. And they make them a little bit vague like that. Obviously, it's much easier to say, has he violated any of those rules, if perhaps he got back to his office and he started to give investment advice on the phone. That's quite easy. Of course he's violated, doesn't he? How can you give investment advice when you've drunk twice the limit that you normally drink? But he didn't. He just walked back to his office a little bit, wasn't walking exactly straight because he had far too much. Got back there and he went to sleep. And that's what we're going to deal with. So when everyone says that ethics is hard, it's hard and it's easy. It's easy because of the rules, but it's hard to apply those rules. And that's why, guys, you'll see when we hit level 3, who has got the worst reputation among professionals worldwide? Investment guys, by far. Worse than lawyers even. Can you imagine that? We're the worst by far, but by a long shot. And one of the reasons for that is because we deal with a lot of money, okay? and with a lot, and a lot of the, is it okay to do it? Is it not okay to do it? It's on the line, so we'll do it. Am I right? That's where our ethics becomes a little bit difficult, guys, and we're going to have to spend a bit of time on that. But remember, guys, it's 15%. Okay, and again, we're going to work smart here, guys, because it's 15% in level 1. What do you think it is in level 2? 15. What's in level 3? 15. What changes? Nothing. So make the investment, guys. Okay. If you learn it well in level 1, you've got it for level 2, you've got it for level 3. Where else do you see it, by the way? Kaya have adopted the same ethical principles. So it's in Kaya 1, it's in Kaya 2. You can get it 5 times. Okay. We'll spend time on that. Quants, big in level 1. 5 to 10% allocation for level 2 and goes away for level 3. Okay. Having said that, guys, by the time you hit level 3, all that they say to you, they say, well, the statistical coefficients are not statistically significant. And then they say to you, you don't know quants for level 3. Okay. But they build on level 1 and level 2 knowledge. There's no specific topic called quants in level 3, but it's a build. And that's why I just spent 12 hours with the level 2s doing their quant section. Should have taken us 8, but they wanted to. We worked slowly. And we do the same thing here, guys, by the way. If there's topics that we're battling with as a class or as individuals, we slow down. So if I've said to you there's 4 or 5 classes for quants, and we need one more, we do one more. Okay. I'm not sacrificing quality for time, guys. If I've got to bring you back, and if you can't make it that class, I'll record it, you can listen. But for the majority, we work for the majority, obviously. It's a democracy. Okay. But if we've got to slow down, we slow down. Okay. But we come out with an understanding. There's no other way to do it. Okay. I can talk very quickly if I need to. Okay. And I can get through the work double speed. Okay. One of my students said to me that there's no way that they can play my lectures on double speed because it depends on how much we've got to get through. The theory, I talk a little bit quicker because theories you can really just study. But the stuff that we're going to be doing, guys, specifically quants and FRA, which is our early start stuff, it requires a lot of understanding, a lot of hard work. Okay. Economics is economics. You guys know what that is. You do a bit of micro, you do macro, you do currencies, you do international economics. And remember, guys, when you come to CFA, okay, or any of these designations for that matter, it's a lot of work. A big part of what makes us difficult, guys, is just the sheer volume. Okay, and one guy did it from the. Have you guys heard of the PRC? It's the government pension fund. He wanted to do Kaya with us, and he phoned me on the 15th of January when we restarted our classes again for Kaya, and he said he wanted to join the class. I said, no, you don't join, because the exam was 7th of March, which would give him just a month and a half to study. He said, no, he'll be fine. He's got a master's in, I don't know, something. I said, don't join. He said, no, he wants to. I said, okay, join. Okay, he joined, and he phoned me straight after the paper. They're right upstairs for Kaya, by the way. They're right at Pearson. It's all computer-based. And he phoned me up. He says, I just want to tell you one thing. Just one thing. And I was thinking to myself, you're going to... I just left. I didn't say, I don't like to correct him, but I said, let me hear. He says, I just want to tell you one thing. These designations are no joke. That's all his words were. Okay, and then you know what? He failed and he's writing again. But you know what? He won't do it in a month and a half. Okay, because these are no joke. And that's all I ask of you guys, is just treat them with respect. Treat yourself with the respect. You've put in the time, the energy. We're gonna work slowly. Okay. The next big one is FRA, Financial Reporting and Analysis, 15%. Guys, we've got to do this well. Why? Because it comes back again in level 2 in a big way. One of the big sections in level 2. Interesting enough, guys, both of the 2 early start ones that I'm doing is quants and FRA are nicely sized in level 2, and both go away in level 3. So the accountants aren't so happy because they like to score on the FRA, but that goes in level 3. Okay. Level 3 obviously is much more portfolio management based. Actually managing portfolios. Corporate finance is 10%. Okay. And then guys, then we move straight into our 4 major instruments, investment instruments. You've got equities, you've got alternatives, fixed income or bonds, and you've got derivatives. Okay, and between those, they make up a healthy portion. Okay, they're there for level 2, they're there for level 3. Okay, so those 4 will remain constant, because remember, even when we look at level 3, which is essentially a portfolio management course, the whole of level 3, I'm now doing my investments. I've got to know what to invest in, and I can invest in equities, bonds, derivatives, or alternatives. Okay, and one of the guys said to me, well, what's the difference in alternatives? Why should they do CAIA, Chartered Alternative Investments, as a designation, when you can do it at CFA? It's just the depth, obviously, guys. You can see here, I do alternatives for 6%, and obviously for CAIA, it's 100%. The whole course is just alternatives. Therein lies your difference. Okay, and that's why, obviously, guys, the CAIA Institute allows the CFA level 3 guys to jump into level 2 of CAIA, because they know that they realize that they've got a very strong background coming out of CFA. Okay. And your last one is Portman. Interesting enough, guys, portfolio management here, 6%, level 3, 65%. That's the whole of level 3. Okay. Very small here, very basic here, becomes quite big in level 2 and massive in level 3. And you can just see how the syllabus is just moving around a little bit. Okay. Let's just have a quick look. Any questions, by the way, at this point? Everyone's just too stunned to talk. Did you know what you were getting into? Okay. Those that are repeating, no. Okay, and I commend you for coming back, by the way, because it's not easy to if you haven't made it. But this is it's a tough program. Okay. Have a look at the numbers, guys. The CFA program curriculum, that's the papers that you can get for free, by the way. Don't buy the hardcover books. They offer them to you. I think they offer them to you about $100 or something like that. Please don't buy them, okay? Because you can get them in e-form as well. You can get them in e-form, number 1, and number 2, we don't use them. Okay. And why don't we use them? Because they're 3,212 pages long, and the writing is small. Okay. And we summarize everything for you in our notes. Okay. So it's all in there. I wouldn't, if you're battling with a topic or you want to get something more detailed or something like that, yes, with pleasure, go and read them. Okay, they are outstandingly written. I'm not criticizing them. They are outstandingly written. But it's too long for the time that we've got. I often find guys, they try that. They say, no, they're a purist. They want to go through the actual source material. I said, and then after the 1 or 2 study sessions, they say, can we have the summary notes, please? Okay. And my notes are not summary, by the way. They're detailed notes as well, covering everything. That's all that you need. Guys, we once had, now, I'm sure you guys have heard of some of the other providers. There's Schweizer, Kaplan Schweizer. There is Wiley. There's Analyst Online. There's a lot. There's quite a few others as well. And are they good? They're all good. I have nothing bad to say about my competitors. They're all good, but you just need one. I once had a girl that came through. We were in the Stonebridge office, and she said, can she meet with me? And I said, with pleasure. She came through in the boardroom, and she walked in, and she had 2 heavies, I use the term respectfully, but big guys, behind her carrying these books. And these guys walked in, and they put the books on the table, and then she kind of said, okay, you can go. And we started talking. I said, what are these? She says, no, she's bought Kaplan, she's bought Wiley, she's bought Analyst Online, she's bought. I said, I'm not going to say her name, we'll call her Jane, out of respect. I said, Jane, I know what these cost. It's approximately $1,000, which is, we know what the dollar is now. Let's not depress any further. For those, it's about 15,000 rands for each of those 5, and you've got about 6 or 7 sets. You've paid 70,000, 80,000 rand for that. I said, yeah, good approach, hey? So we carried on speaking, and she said, well, what should I do with these? After I told her how we study. I said, can I be honest with you? She wants honesty. And I just took my hand like this. And all of the bush went crashing all over the floor. She said, oh, my books! I said, just leave them there. The heavies will pick them up, don't worry. Okay. I said, but leave them where they are. I said, unfortunately, you spent 70,000 rand. You just need one set of notes, guys. And if you choose Schweizer, it's also good. Whatever you want to choose, guys, Just remember, guys, that our notes, the edge fit notes, are everyone studies from them, and all the guys have passed on them. That's all I offer my guys is our actual notes. Everyone's passed with them. We had a guy that went to a competitor of ours. Again, I'm not going to give you a name. In South Africa, and after 2 weeks there, he phoned me and he said, "Can I come back?" So I said, "Of course you can come." But the reason he left is because we were in Stone Ridge and he used to work in Sandton. That's by the way why we moved here. Because I got too many complaints for the guys saying it's too far for them to come from Sandton to go to Stone Ridge, which is in the Edenvale area. So he phoned me in December that year and he said, "No, he's a very, very good guy." And he said, "He's going to the competitor. He's not coming back to us." I said, "Didn't you?" He said, "No, he passed with us first time, but it's too far, and he can't get there by 6 o'clock, etc., etc." I said, "That's fine, pleasure. What I ask you is that you keep in contact, and he said, 'Aren't you upset?' I said, I never like to lose a student, but if this is the reason, then you must go what works best for you." And as I said, 2 weeks later, he phoned me. He says, "I want to come back." I said, "It was pleasure. You can come back." And he came back and he said to me, for those last two odd weeks, he's been using. And again, I'm not going to give you the name of the material. You can call it Schwarzer, Wiley, call it what you wish. Okay. And he came back and said, "But our material's the same, okay, but it's a bit easier to use." So we've had a lot of compliments about our material. Some love it less. But it's very usable. And the question, if you're going to ask me, is can you remember, guys, all of our material, we're a preferred prep provider to the CFA Institute in America. So they stamp all of our material. So I can't give you rubbish. Okay. There may be a spelling error or two, granted, okay, but it's gone through a vetting process. Okay. And just to give you a bit of encouragement, our biggest competitor, I'm sure but in terms of the notes provision, I'm sure you know, is Schwarzer, Kaplan Schwarzer. I'm sure you guys all heard of them. The year was 1999, and I co-developed notes with a partner of mine at the time. I don't know if you know a guy called David Modlin. You know, heard of him? Okay, we co-developed notes for CFA Level 1 in 1999. I authored some sections, and he got other guys to author, and he was the lead on the project. 1999. And he then asked me, would I join forces with him? And I said yes. And a week later, I got a phone call from Kagiso to join them. So I said, I'd rather go to Kagiso. Okay, it was a lovely private equity practice. So I said to him, I said, "Dave, what I'll do is I'll continue to write notes for you because I've committed to that, but I can't join you as a partner." Okay. Anyway, so he said that he'll pay me per reading, whatever that I complete for him, etc., etc. Fine. We did this. We came out with these wonderful set of notes for the CFA Level 1 class. And within 6 months, okay, he got a phone call from Schwarzer and said that they wanted to talk. This was back in 99 or early 2000, and they bought him out. Okay, they bought out all of his notes and his business for $5 million. Okay, sounds fancy, but I think it was 4-1 at the time, so maybe not as fancy as it would be now. So when guys ask me, do I know how to draft notes? I do. Okay, our notes are good notes. In fact, a lot of our notes, Schwarzer notes and ours, look a bit similar because I drafted those back 20 years ago. Okay, I'm not trying to be arrogant or boast at all, guys. I'm just saying that the notes are more than sufficient. Your job, guys, is in doing lots of questions, understanding the notes, doing the questions, and moving from there. Okay, and as I say, if you're battling with our notes or any other notes and you want to go back, the best source, guys, is the CFA program curriculum. It's too wonderful. But the good news for you is that I read all of those because I've got to prepare the notes. I get to read all of that. So you can be guaranteed someone, at least in the class, has read them all. There we go. Okay. And just for your information, by the way, just yesterday, I got all of the CFA program curriculum for 2020 already. And that's how advanced and ahead of the game your organization is, guys. You're part of something much bigger. I've got nothing but praise to heap on them. The 2020 stuff is ready. The changes are prepared. Everything we get, it's a lovely organization to work for, and obviously to carry that designation is going to be something that you will get the benefit of. They've got 1,557 end of chapter questions, 525 learning outcome statements, and I'll show you what that is in a second, guys. 58 readings and 18 study sessions. Okay, I just want to take you to one set of our notes, which we'll start with next week, but I just wanted to show it to you guys. just to give you the format of how we work. So you can see over there, this is what we're going to be starting with study session 2. Study session 1 would have been ethics. We're not starting with ethics. Okay. It's called quantitative methods. Reading 6, time value of money. Now, if we have a look over here, study sessions, in total, guys, there's 19. Okay. How do we break that down? Let me break it down for you quick over here, guys. Just clean here. Okay. Let's just have a look for you here. Okay. How do we break down these study sessions? There's 1 for ethics, 2 and 3 for quants. Economics is 4 and 5. FRA, financial reporting, is 6, 7, 8, and 9. Big one there, obviously. Corpfin is 10 and 11. Portman, by the way, let's jump down here, is 12, 13. Equities, 14, 15. Fixed income, 16, 17. Derivatives is 18. And alt is 19. So they take 19 study sessions. Okay, this is a mistake. Apologies, guys. That should be 19, not 19, not 18. And based on that, guys, each one of those is then broken down into readings. So, for example, ethics is study session 1, but it carries with it 5 readings. You happy with that? So and they break it down like that in a very nice way. So if you have a look over here, guys, okay. You've got 19 study sessions, okay, 58 readings that relate to those, and then this is your key, guys, 525 learning outcome statements. And if I take you back here, guys, let's have a quick look. So this is study session 2, which is quants, reading number 6, which we deal with time value of money. Talk about this in a second. And there are 6 learning outcomes that you've got to come out from this particular reading with. Number 1, you've got to interpret interest rates as required rates of return, discount rates, or opportunity cost. So a nice way to learn it, if you like, is you can say to yourself, okay, do I know what that is? And if you do, you know a little bit about it, you move on to LOS, etc., etc. Okay. And then obviously from there, guys, if you just have a look at the notes, what I do, okay, is just to make sure we don't miss a thing, is then I reproduce those learning outcomes. Cost me $1,500, by the way, because you cannot copy anything from the CFA without paying them. We pay them. Then I can, so this is carbon copy, what they say you must know, and then we give you some notes behind that. Again, LOS 6B, that's what they say you got to know, and there's notes behind them. You happy with that? And that's the general approach that we take. At the end of all of that, of the notes, okay, don't get a fright here. It's quite a few. It's a big reading. We give you what's called the edge summary. It's a summary of everything that you've just done, and then some questions. You happy with that? So by the time you finish with this, you've got all the readings that you need to know. You've got summaries, and you've got questions on those as well. Okay. Any questions? I know everyone's really getting a little worried. That's why we don't do too much on the first session. I don't upset anybody too much. Okay, let's move on over here. Look over here, the exam itself, dates and times. You write 7th of December. It's a Saturday. Anybody, as far as I'm aware, there's only 2 groups that can't write on Saturday, the Jewish guys and the Seventh-day Adventists. Anyone in that group? Okay. So please just apply early to them. Once you've registered, you can apply to them for a religious alternative date, and then you write on Sunday. Okay, for those 2 groups. If you think it'll help you for another day, you can become one of those 2 groups. I don't think the next day is going to help you much, but and you sign so many affidavits and swearings that you didn't learn about the paper, etc., etc. Okay, so not really worth your while. Those are your calculator policy, guys. You can use the Texas Instruments, or you can use the HP12C. Okay, horrible thing, the HP12C. Okay, but one thing in my experience, those that use it know how to use it. They love their HP. I know I'm offending some people here that have got a 12C, but it's the clever people. Okay, and they know how to use them. So good luck to them. But none of the providers, by the way, okay, offer much support anymore for the 12C. All the providers you can see as you go through the Schweizers, etc., they offer only assistance on the Texases. How many guys have got Texases? Okay, how many guys have got HPs? 1, 2. You don't have to be shy. We love you all. Okay, good. And I'll try to give you as much support. You'll see as we go through the notes, guys. Okay, I'll just take you there very briefly, just to give you a little bit of a sense of comfort that you don't think I've thrown you in the deep end. But if you have a look over here, when I just take you back any one of these here, when I give you an example, I say to you, there's method 2, for example, how to do it on the Texas, and I'll give you all the key steps, step by step by step. And just because we love everybody, we do it on we're the only provider that still does it on the 12C as well. It's all in there. Okay, so if you do want to step by step by step, push this button, clear that button, what it'll show you then on the screen, and then next button. Okay, good. Let's go back. Generally in CFA, guys, no questions ever repeated. It would be boring if it was, am I right? We wouldn't want that. General knowledge is a little bit of general knowledge expected, not a lot from you. Most of the stuff, guys, is going to come directly from the material. And the last little bit over here, guys, we focus on the 4 C's approach. Anyone heard of the 4 C's before? No? Okay. Oops, I told you my spelling. Consistency. Okay. Commitment. I'm really embarrassing myself here with the spelling. Concentration. And the last one is calm. Now, let's just go through those very briefly, guys. This is the approach that we take. Consistency is how often must you work on your CFA? Every day. Every single day. Okay. Can you take a day's break? No. Till when? 7th of December. Then you can have a break. Now. Okay. And the reason we say that, guys, is because, as I said to you before, it's not going to be the cleverest man in the room that's going to pass this paper. It's the guy with the toughest, strongest guy or girl with the toughest, strongest rear end that can sit. Okay. When I talk about consistency, guys, I'm not talking about that you're putting in file. I had one guy came to present his study plan to me. Get up at 4 a.m. I said, who does that? He says, you do. I said, well, I'm not normal. Don't learn from me. Don't do what I do. Okay. But getting up at 4 a.m., okay, putting in 2 hours before work, working in his lunch hour, that's 3 hours, and 4 hours at night. He says you can get in 7 hours a day, okay, in addition to an 8-hour work day. And I said, and he presented to me this in January. I said, and you're going to have a nervous breakdown by February. Okay, it's not about that, guys. It's about the consistency. It's about the everyday work. And water drips on a stone. Eventually it makes a hole. It gets through, guys. But it's every single day. And guys, when I say every single day, I mean every day. And what if you're having a shocking day? Okay, put in 2 minutes. And that sounds stupid. But if you put in 2 minutes or 5 minutes and just read through one of the ethical standards, you're still in the program, aren't you? Okay. As opposed to you say, oh, heavy day, I'll do more tomorrow. And what happens tomorrow? Nothing. Am I right? And if you don't do it 1 day, you don't do it 2 days, and you can miss out 3 days, and then you've missed. You'll see the way our program works. I'll take you through that in a second, guys. Then you've really missed quite a bit, haven't you? So what happens if if you're the best maid, what's the best man, best mate, I don't know what they call them anymore today, of a wedding, what should you do? As you're putting on your suit in the mirror and doing your hair, those that have a little bit left, okay, what do? You just read this ethical standard. So that day of the wedding, when your best mate's daughter, son, whoever got married, you did a bit of CFA. And then what happens tomorrow when there's no wedding? You're back in, aren't you? Because your mind's still engaged and you're busy with CFA. Must become a little bit part of your life. Not your whole life, of course, but a little bit part of your life. Okay. Unless, of course, you, the bride or the groom, take the day off. Okay. And we had one guy that did that, and he phoned me in June time. It was right in December. He said he needs to take off 2 weeks for the wedding. He's getting married in September. What I suggest? I suggest that you don't write in December, then you write in June the next year. Nah, you'll be fine. Okay, you'll be fine. Didn't do it. And he failed. And he was back again. Guys, try as best you can, looking forward to try and avoid big commitment events if you can. If you can't, plan around them. I'm not saying to lose your life, but plan. So guys, the key is the consistency. It's an everyday thing. Obviously, I don't want you to be working 2 minutes every day. That's not what I'm saying. So when you're having a horrid day and your brain is physically just too frazzled, and it happens, doesn't it? We're normal, we're people. Read one standard for me. Read one ethical standard. That's all. And go to bed. Okay. That's consistency. Commitment. Commitment, you hear. That's enough of a commitment for me already. Okay. And that commitment must stretch, guys, because often we find towards the end, guys are tired, and they say, I'm not really ready to write those 6 practice papers that you're presenting to us. And I say, no, I don't want to hear that coming right. But there's still 1 more, 2 more sections coming right. Okay, you've got to be committed. Concentration. Okay, back to my old guy. Okay, I don't want 7 hours a day, guys. I want a brilliant 1 hour. Well, I want a brilliant hour and a half. Okay, and if you're able to do that, it makes no sense to sit there. Okay, from 4 o'clock from 8 o'clock after your dinner. Okay, till 12 o'clock and say, your head's pop. You know how your head pops and you, sure. What section am I doing again? Okay, focus, guys. Focus or concentration for 1 hour is worth more than 4 hours. Don't come and tell me how many hours you racked up for the month. I'm not interested. Come and tell me how many great hours you racked up for the month. That's the key. The key is the good hours. Because you can sit at work, am I right? Sometimes 8 hours, and what have you done in those 8 hours? Not much. Sometimes you can have a brilliant 8 hours, am I right? Depends. That's what we want you to be. So sometimes, guys, and I do this often as well when I'm at home. I'm working. I work mainly from home if I can. And if I'm too tired, I'm prepping notes, or I'm doing something, I'm too tired, I go pass out on the couch for half an hour. It's brilliant. My family finds me like everywhere. Okay, but that half an hour power nap, hour, whatever you need, and then you come back, your concentration is a different level, isn't it? So don't worry too much about, and guys, don't make each other nervous and say, I had a good day yesterday, 6 hours. And your mate says, 6 hours? Jesus, I'm putting 6 hours every day. For sure going to fail. No, you're not. He's going to fail. Okay. I've had so many burnouts in my day. Guys that were supposed to be the cleverest, and they burnt out. They burnt out because, leading me to my last point, guys, is the calm. Guys, you're in CFA, it's tough. You're working. How many guys are working as well? Okay, everybody almost. Okay. And if you're not, you're very fortunate. Count your blessings. But you're working all day. I'm expecting you to do some CFA. You're all part of a family unit somehow, either a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a cousin, an aunt, I don't know, whatever. Everyone's got, what I'm saying is you've got stuff going on, don't you? Okay. Part of the calm, guys, is look after yourselves. Look after yourselves. If you're an exerciser, keep on exercising. I'm not telling you to run marathons. No, don't use that much time. You'll run 5 kilometers. It's also good. Go to movies once in a while with your mates. Don't lose all your mates. They're there to support you. Don't lose your family. But I do ask you, and this is an imperative, guys, is that you approach your loved ones, your mother, your father, if you're staying at home, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, your children, whoever it happens to be, and you tell them, I'm now doing this crazy designation. It's going to take me out of the field for a little bit. So on a Sunday, when we used to go out all day, I can't do that anymore. We can go out for half a day. I need your support now. Please support me. Okay. But on the other side, please don't keep on saying, well, you're working so hard, you're working so hard, you're working so hard. Okay, because it's going to wear you down, guys. Tell them now, it's a tough designation. You're still around, so instead of having 8 hours for them on a Saturday or Sunday, you now got 4 hours. You take 4 hours for work, 4 hours for them. Okay. I had one girl that phoned me, a wife. So she phoned me, she says, hi, no, I'm so-and-so's wife. And I'm a little bit impatient when they phone me. So why are you phoning me? My husband's in your class. I said, I know your husband. Why are you phoning me? I said, he can phone me anytime he likes. But why are you phoning me? She said, he's failed this course one time before, and I just don't think he's working hard, and he's not giving me enough time and attention, and I don't know if he's working hard enough. I said, then talk to him. She said, don't phone me. I said, but now that I got you on the phone, and I know she was in trouble, she didn't know what was coming. And I said to her, I know your husband. He's a lovely man, and he's a serious guy. He's working within his capabilities. He's not a rocket scientist, and you don't need to be for this, but he's working as hard as he can. I know you guys have had a little kid earlier in the year, so it's added pressure for him. Okay. My sense is, please, now that I got you on the phone, is instead of nagging at him all the time, give him the emotional support that he needs, support him and love him, and then you'll find he's probably going to get through this paper and ramp up the job ladder, and all good things are waiting. I said, but just stop, support him. She said to me, oh, it's a good idea that, but why is he spending so much time on this? This CFA, is it so, like, what is CFA? You know, he's really taking a lot of time. She said in her experience, she hasn't needed to spend this much time on studies and things like that. So I said, oh, what do you do? What's your degree? Oh, I've got a BA in dancing. I said, I see. I said, and I'm seeing why you're not needing that much time relative to, I said, and I explained to her, I said, a CFA is, it's a demanding degree, guys. Really it is. Doable, for sure. Worthwhile, definitely. But it's going to take up a lot of your time, your family time, your other time. Okay. I'll try to dig it out for you guys. There's this lovely meme of a guy coming out of a cave looking all like old and, you know, as if he's missed half the world. And the things he's just finished studying for CFA, you know. Okay. It's tough. It's tough. But as I try and get the support of your loved ones, if you can, because it's going to make your experience and their experience, you know, once you manage the expectations, guys, then everything becomes a little easier. Okay, guys, and just what we offer, guys, you know this by now, notes, summaries, questions, answers, or formula sheets in there as well. Classes are recorded, so but please do come. It's much more, I just find the guys face-to-face is just much more beneficial generally for the guys, etc., etc. Just in terms of last little bit, guys, and then we'll open it up to the floor, but let's see how we go. Okay, how many hours a day? This is the golden question. How many hours should you be working? And guys, if you look at it like this, if you put in 1 to 1.5 hours a day, which is not a huge demand, okay, it may be, but it's something we've got to find time for, and you do that for 5 days, you're going to get to around about, let's say, 7 hours, 7.5 hours a week. And why do I give you 5 days? Because those are your work days. So some guys can get up early, or early birds. Some guys are late night owls. Wherever you find your hour of quality. Remember, guys, in terms of concentration, I want quality hours. So find the hour that's best for you. And on the weekend, okay, I want 8 hours. Approximately working around about, guys, plus minus 15 hours a week. And when I say for 8 hours on the weekend, okay, you might decide, well, I want to do 4 hours Saturday, 4 hours Sunday, or you might say, well, I want to work 8 hours on Saturday. Tell your family, listen, Saturday I'm out. I'm going to the library. You'll see me late afternoon. But Sunday, guys, I'm home all day for you. Whatever works for your unit, for your, okay. But that's approximately where you've got to get to, guys. And if you look at those, guys, and now you times that by 4, you're getting approximately 60 hours a month. And guys, we're in May, so let's work just from half of May, June, July, August, September, October, November, 6 months times 6 is 360, if my math serves me right. Another around about 40 hours plus minus for the month of May, and you've got your 400 hours like that. You're happy with that? But guys, remember, it's not about getting those 400 hours in November to write in December. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for 400 hours consistently, evenly split from now until, because that won't make you mad. Okay, that'll give you a slow, consistent approach, guys, which is what's going to get you through. It's not going to be the guy that puts in those same 400 hours across October, November. It's too late. Okay. Any questions? Have I bombarded you enough? Questions? So you have to have one of those calculators. Okay. And guys, the CFA Institute, they send down, I think by now, they hire South African, what they call proctors. Proctors are invigilators. It's a fancy American term for an invigilator. And they check everybody's calculators, guys. Don't think you can get away with anything. Okay, just remember the exam policy is stringent. They're going to come and check you what you're writing with. Okay. So And my strongest advice for you, how many guys haven't are using, let's start, HPs? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure, we've got a big class for HPs. Okay. And Texases? So who hasn't got yet? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, guys, that's why for most of the in general, I don't start on the first lecture because I want to give you all the information that you need. But from next week, what are we in? Thursday. Okay, we are going to use those calculators. So please either borrow one if you can't buy one on time, but please do come with one next week. Okay. They're very strict around, and guys, they've got to be, there's 350,000 guys internationally writing, so they've got to be quite strict with all their policies, and they are very strict. We had one guy who kept his calculator in his top pocket and was writing, when he went to write his CFA paper, and he bent over and the calculator went into the toilet. So guys, we're going to teach you a little bit of clever exam technique, how not to kill your exam day. Okay. But yeah, most guys take two calculators with on exam day, or if you don't want to take two calculators with, because I mean, I had a look the other day, it's frightening what these things cost now. Very expensive. Okay. Take a spare set of batteries with you, so you can just change them if you do run out. What I always do is I just change the batteries the night before. So irrespective, so you lose a bit of battery on the old batteries, but it gives you a bit of peace of mind, and it's 20 Rand for the battery, so it's better than buying a second calculator. Yeah, please come with calculators next week, whichever ones you do come with. We're going to start hectically next week reading 6. So this is your discount night. Okay, we start a little bit earlier. Shut. You can have 2 questions. I was waiting for someone to ask that. Okay. The truth is, of course it does, doesn't it? And based on that, you can have Thursdays off from studying. How's that? Thursdays will be your big day. Okay. But remember, guys, and that's why even when we run a class, assuming that I kept you here from 6 till 10. I mean, if we do the maths honestly. Okay. Remember, normally I break round about now, 7:30. That's a little bit fast, this clock. Okay. The actual time, 7:25. We normally break it, and it's not. We just see where we are in the class. Round about 7:30-ish for dinner. No, I don't buy you dinner, but it's just a dinner break. Okay. There's tons of shops around here. Around about 20 minutes. Okay. And I always tell the guys, if your Nando's, McDonald's, whatever isn't ready on time, bring it back with you with pleasure. You can eat in class, no problem at all. Okay. But don't be late. Bring your food back and eat over here. And then we run for another hour and a half odd. But typically I find as we get into what we call the suicide hour, 9 till 10, the guys are starting to drop off a little bit. So we generally finish a little bit earlier. So it's not really 4 hours, and you've got dinner, and we start 5 minutes late while I wait for the guys. So that's your night off. That's your study day off. It's a Thursday. But you'll get more time, sure, than the hour and a half on the Thursday night. And the truth is, it does count. It all counts. But you just got to, I always tell the guys, when I talk about the consistency, what I'm asking you to immerse yourself in the program. Just make CFA a part of you. Every day a little bit, not to the exclusion of family and friends and lifestyle and exercise and good eating, etc. But the consistency will take care of that. If you do it every day, you won't need to have these mad 20-hour sessions on Red Bulls and other strange supplements to get you through. Okay. And I know everybody's got work commitments, and last little bit of advice, guys, is look now ahead of your schedule and book your leave now. It sounds crazy, okay, but if you book your leave now and your boss stamps it off and signs it off, it's done. How long? Most guys take a week and after 2 weeks, but whatever you can get is outstanding. Okay, but don't leave it too late, and then they say, well, you know how bosses are, and they say, no leave for you. Okay, I had one guy from Standard Bank. He was doing the Standard Bank program on the accounting Standard Bank program, and he booked 2 weeks of leave, and a week before his boss came to him and said he's cancelling the leave. That was his only CFA study leave, those 2 weeks. He told his boss, what should he do? I said, you've got to stand firm, It's been approved, and So I said, just stand firm, go talk to him nicely. But I think maybe got the wrong message. He went back to his boss and he said, you can either give me my 2 weeks as leave, or you can expect me to be sick for 2 weeks. Okay, I didn't mean to tell him like that, but yeah, you got to be a bit firm. Okay. Any questions, guys? Are we excited? It's a tough program, guys, but we're going to work. We're going to really put in a lot of effort. Has everyone signed my paper? Okay, whoever hasn't signed my paper, please sign, because that's the last little bit of admin, guys. Is what I do now is I take that piece of paper with your cell phone numbers on, okay, and I sell it to a marketing. No, I don't do anything like that, of course not. Don't worry, okay. Nothing worse when a marketing company phones you to offer you something that you don't really want. What I do is I form a WhatsApp group, and the WhatsApp group, guys, is a bit of a support group between all of us. I can tell you on that WhatsApp group, there is a class tonight, there's no class tonight. I'm going to have to do this, we're going to have to do that, guys. Anybody need help on this? If someone's got a question, they post. It's a bit of a support group for everyone. Very, very valuable, I found across the many years, this particular WhatsApp group. However, please, and I'm cautioning you here, guys, it's a WhatsApp group for CFA Level 1. Okay. If your cat has a baby, huge congratulations to you, the cat and the babies, but please don't post pictures of that. Oh, and I mean this gently, but nobody cares other than you, and it's fantastic, the cat and the babies and the mother and the story or whatever. But let's keep it investment based, because if we keep it investment based, everyone will stay on the group and get the most benefit from it. If everyone's posting, pictures of, oh, look, I'm at the beach and look at me, I'm here, all those kind of selfies, put that on your Instagram, whatever like that. But please don't post it to our CFA WhatsApp group, because then you're going to find people are going to want to leave the group because it's just too much. If you do have a lovely joke in the morning, a little bit investment related perhaps, okay, post that just to keep the smiles on the faces. Okay. No, you don't like jokes? Okay. What's your name? Katie says no jokes. Okay. The public have spoken. But every now and then I might post one just to keep the humor up. But let's not make. But guys, let's keep the WhatsApp group sacred in a sense, sacred to CFA and sacred to investments and to the class, and respect everybody, because I think what Katie saying is also very valuable. There's nothing worse than when you're busy working and the phone goes bzz, bzz, and what is it? Someone's cat. Oh my word. Okay, you don't want to see the cat. Okay. If you are interested in cats, please talk to each other after class. Have a cat. You can form your own cat WhatsApp group, dog WhatsApp group, baby WhatsApp group. I mean, I've got 5 beautiful children at home, guys. Everyone says, 5. I said, and I always tell them I wish I had more, but I stopped at 5, unfortunately. I'm old. And I'm not going to post you pictures of my toddler who's nearly turning, and he's the cutest thing ever. I love him to bits. But no, I'm not going to be posting pictures of Johnny doing cute things, because it's not relevant. If you are interested in other people's families, with pleasure we can form a little group for that. But please, guys, keep it separate, all right? Okay, anything? Is everybody signed my paper with cell phone numbers on there? And okay. Guys, on that note, today's going to be an early night, or early-ish. And then we're going to start again next week, Thursday, with quants. But please, guys, please, I beg of you, if you are not managing to get a calculator by next week, Thursday, please be in contact with me. I'll try and make a plan for you. I'll try to borrow one for you. And if you are buying for the first time, please try and buy a Texas. It's an easier one to use. If you are familiar with the HP, with pleasure, go ahead and use it, because you're obviously familiar with it. Any further questions? No, just the one. 12C, only one. Those specific ones. I'll post a picture to the group tonight of the 2 Texases that you can get. The HP is exactly that one, guys. It's the HP 12C, nothing more. I know a lot of guys are used to the 10Bs for the HPs. That's the guys. Those calculators are gone. Okay. Guys, have a most marvelous evening. Drive safe, and before you go, please come and grab a ticket. Otherwise, you pay for parking. Santon parking is not cheap. All you do, guys, is please just take your old ticket and throw it somewhere. Okay. I know that upsets the accountants. They like me to do recons of the, but my accounting department is they're not happy with me. But there we go. Perfect. There you go. And guys, I'm not sure, by the way, if you read the ticket, I'm not sure why it says Edgar's Business School. It's got nothing to do with us. I do hope we don't go the same way as Edgar's. But there you go. Sure. There we go. Cool. Has everyone got a ticket? Okay. And guys, sorry, last point before you go. Apologies, I said I was finished. I'm nearly finished. What you probably got an email today from Griselda, I hope. Okay. And what Griselda sent you was a link to what we call the Google Classroom. It's a Google platform. On the Classroom, what you'll find are all the notes are there. So if you want to just go and look a little bit ahead, you want to download a set of notes, it's all there for you. And every lecture that we give is recorded there. All you do is you click on that link, and you'll hear me talking. The good news about that link is you don't see my face. Brilliant. You just see what's on the board and audio. So if you do miss a class, you just go in there. Often the guys in the face-to-face never even use it because they're in the class and they get the notes face-to-face. But if you do want to catch up or listen again to a lecture, it's all there for you. If you're battling with that, please send a message to Griselda, and she'll take you through step-by-step how to log on to that. Now you can go. Yes, Hassan?